Got a dense park on Saturday when Dundee met United for the second time this season. Highlights now with David McKinney.
Brent Sancho and Stephen McNally returned for Dundee. No Johnny Hernandez for Jim Duffy's men after his red card of last week. Paul Ritchie came back into defence for United, who are still without keeper Tony Bullock. This one of several games that marked the respect for fallen comrades of the Black Watch. Ian McCall was hoping desire wouldn't outstrip ambition as he searched for his first success in this fixture, painfully aware no doubt of an 8-game run without a league win. He wanted his men to remain focused on the job in hand, but Jason Scotland failed to put the finishing touch on the cross from the dancing Barry Robson. United had the better of the opening exchanges. Kelvin Jack's feigned innocence fooled no one. A clear handball outside the area, followed by a yellow card for the Dundee keeper. No sense of denying a scoring opportunity, so no question of a red card. That would come later. It took heroics from Brent Sancho to prevent Colin Samuel from giving United the lead. Sancho cleared of assault, but showing he's well capable of fighting his corner on the football field. Jim Duffy's plans were thrown into disarray as Jack overstretched, taking a goal kick. A moment of worry for the Dundee bench as Jack had been included in the side because Derek Suter had suffered food poisoning during the week, and although he still wasn't 100%, Suter was brought into the action after just half an hour. Steve Lovell's challenge on Chris Innes earned the Dundee man a yellow card from referee Alan Freeland. It was certainly reckless. The United fans were looking for red. Dundee were to find Paul Jarvie in fine form. Ian Anderson picking up a magnificent long pass, playing in Lovell, and Jarvie's save inducing a head and hands moment for the Dundee striker. United's earlier wish to see a red card was granted, but not in the manner they had hoped. Chris Innes springing down Lovell, and for denying a scoring opportunity that is but one punishment. The referee got this absolutely correct. For Dundee a free kick, and for Jarvie another chance to impress. However, United were now down to 10 men, and they were to go the full Shakhtar by finishing with 9 men, but this time in unfortunate circumstances. Mark Wilson's clearance interpreted by the far side assistant as handball. His view was the one that counted, even though a closer look reveals Wilson headed the ball. The protests of Wilson and his teammates cut no ice with the officials. If Ian McCall was perceived to be under pressure before the game, he's now handicapped for next week's match with Livingston with no right of appeal. Both players available for the CIS Cup in midweek, but that wasn't any help on Saturday. Barry Robson's run and shot almost was of help. Even so, United felt they could hold on for a point, yet despite his earlier heroics, it won't be Paul Jarvie's saves that are remembered from this game. It'll be this moment. John Sutton, who scored the winner in the first derby of the season, came off the bench to do it again. His goal way down the list of talking points.
The atmosphere today, as it was at Tannadice, was yeah, it's a game you want to play in. So to manage to get the winners has been terrific.
Well, Dundee boss Jim Duffy joining Archie and myself here tonight. Jim, obviously delighted with the victory, but some controversial moments.
Well, controversial moment, I think, Jim,
yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, you know, the Matt Wilson sending off, if you see it now, was harsh and was wrong, really, you know, so I think that they needed to have a fair shout for that one, but I think they've already debated it and it seems as if there's no right of appeal for that, which is a bit disappointing for the boy.
How did you feel about the standard of the game overall?
Well, from my point of view, I was disappointed, and really the only department that really played well for us was with defence. The first half, Dundee United had us under an awful lot of pressure, but the second half we started well. For the first 15 minutes I thought we were really up for it, and you seen Paul Jarvie there making 2 great saves, and then when the sending offs changed the game really, because Dundee United then decided to sit back and protect a 0-0 situation, and everyone got a little bit frustrated because we just couldn't really have enough composure to create a chance, and then when we did do it, it was down to a mistake from young Jarvie. So, you know, but from my point of view, I'm just delighted to get the goal and the 3 points.
Archie, he's obviously happy. We'll talk about that incident in a moment, but from a Dundee United point of view, worrying times.
Yeah, if you go on a slide like that, it's difficult to reverse it. But, you know, knowing Ian McCall, and he knows Ian McCall well, I think he can talk his players out of it. I think he's articulate enough. I think he's sensible enough. And he's done well with other clubs, you know, in difficulties. So I think he's got all of that behind him. And I certainly wouldn't dismiss them. And I've seen them playing some good football. So, you know, early days yet.
Well, you saw an email going through the screen there. Brian Wiley, who's 13, had his day spoiled on Saturday, he says, and he wants us to look at these sendings offs. Well, let's do just that. The first one, I think you would say, Jim, absolutely no argument.
Yeah, I mean, Fabian Caballero picks the ball up, he slips a little ball through. Stevie Lovell's acceleration takes him beyond, I think, Chris Innes. And you see it from another angle. I mean, he brings him down. And there's no real any complaints from the Dundee United players there. You see him there, he gets goal side of him, brings him down, and that's denying a goal scoring opportunity, which is a straight red card.
And what about the second one, Archie?
Yeah, this one going through there, very awkward. I was talking to Jim about this earlier on, and we sometimes think the referees make decisions too quickly. In that case, he was consulting. You'll see that when you come to watch the Celtic game later on.
He puts his hand up,
yeah,
you know, but he definitely heads the ball. And I think the linesman or the assistant was running back towards it because it was a long diagonal ball played. And from the angle he was at, he obviously thought it hit Matt Wilson's hand, but you can see from the pictures there it did.
Yeah, we were saying, Jim, that you know, I saw an experiment once in Brazilian football where they gave a blue card. It was a red, a yellow, and a blue. That sounds very complicated. But the blue was for the non-violent offences, like 2 yellows, for example. And it was a sin bin. They went off for 15 minutes, I think it was, and then brought back on. And that might be something well worth doing in football, because you, managers and spectators, are getting irritated by stupid bookings.
Now, even when they went down to 10 men and then 9 men, they could have won it, because Barry Robson had a wee half chance, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I mean, he played very well, Barry Robson, I have to say. I think he did well. He picked the ball up, and you can see him try to get it on his left foot. I've been disappointed with my defenders here. They let him go on his stronger left foot, and he's more than capable of sticking it in the back of the net. But fortunately for us, he dragged it wide. And, you know, the goal for us, you see, it was probably the first real decent cross we put into the box. Mark following him. John Sutton doing what he does best, getting in the 6-yard box and, you know, scoring. But there was a lot of, you know, changes in the game as well, Jim. And we had, our goalkeeper had to come off injured, our left back had to come off injured. It was a game where there was 4 Trinidad players actually on the pitch, which was unusual. So it was like the soul suite at times with all the guys clapping hands. But, you know, I think it was a very entertaining, exciting match.
For the moment, Jim, thanks. Let's hear from Julian.
Some chat there about rights of appeal. William, you've got a question for Archie.
Well, as we've just seen, Archie, you know, obviously we're seeing it again on TV. Do you not think it's a better idea to have what they have in rugby league and rugby union, for example, a video ref for all SPL games,
Video
where the
ref,
cameras are there?
Yeah, sure. We had an experiment set up in France against Sweden once, where a television company about to do that, about to give them all the facilities to do it like that. FIFA came along 5 minutes before kick-off and said no. So you're battering your head against a brick wall.
We'll come back to it. Thank you.